Bitcoin from the top many times. That's the point, is that these people want to pick these maxis, these Bitcoin maxis, these dishonest people. They want to pick apart other cryptos because they're Bitcoin rich and they don't want to see liquidity flood into other things. So they just call every freaking thing else a scam. And they say, like BitBoy was mentioning there, Peter McCormick, he's a freaking maxi. He's like, oh, so you look at the HEX chart, it's down 85%. Well, Ethereum and Bitcoin have done the same damn thing tons of times. So they're just not, they're hypocrites, is what he's saying. You're not applying the same argument to your own coin that you're trying to diminish HEX and other cryptocurrencies with. You're not applying the same argument because it's done it many times as well. It's a simple argument, really.
There's different, I think, for people that are looking at those numbers, or when we listen to people say, oh, this is down 85% off its top, right? It's not, if it's 85% off its top, for it to go from 85% to 90%, it's not just that the valuation has to go down 5%. It's got to go down a whole other leg. I think that that's where people get kind of wrecked, because it's in these X's that create those extra percentages. When we're measuring from the top down, it's not just the percentage of the valuation. So HEX just dropped 50%, but from the top, it only really dropped an extra, 5% or 10%.
Yeah, I don't really understand what you're getting at. I apologize, but I don't. I see kind of where you're going with it, but this what I'm talking about is more simplistic. I'm not trying to cookie coat or talk about, it's just the reality. From the top, how far down is something? From the last all-time high, how far down have these things gone? So if you're needing to bring some other extra thing to that, I don't know why, but I'm kind of at a loss for what is the reason why you're choosing to see it that way or speak about it that way. I'm just trying to sincerely understand why.
Well, it was actually it was also something that I heard from their talk. I mean, they were talking about it, and it made sense to me, right? Like, I think it's the same. It's in the same vein when people measure from the top down, when you really should be measuring log from the bottom up, right? And I think for when we are all talking about in a bear market, oh, everything's down 90%, everything's down 85%, and then we're watching the charts just to kind of put into context these percentages, because I think maybe are too zoomed in versus like hitting log and zooming out. And when I was listening to these guys who were way smarter than me talk about, these different positions, right? It's like, or we're looking at trying to look for a bottom or looking at patterns of the past. I think it's important to recognize that to get these, to figure out, okay, if we're trying to say everything, generally hits these 80, 85, 95, 99% corrections, I think it's important
from where is the point, though, Captain, right? From where? It's from the new all-time high. So right. In that way, you can say it's from the all-time high down 85%. If you're talking from the bottom up, you're and using a logarithmic scale, right? You're posing up a different type of an argument, really.
I think we need to understand what is the difference between 85% and 95%, and how do we get that extra 10%? Because in that extra 10%, it's not just a 10% move in valuation; it's actually 100% move. So
Right. I
you'll
I
lose
get what you're saying.
you'll lose 100, and I think that it. And I'm not posing. I think I'm actually just. I had this epiphany, and I was like, oh wow, okay, cool. So now every time that I hear 85%, 95% down, there's actually in that, to move that 5%, you're actually moving a valuation 50%, which to somebody's bag is half their bag, or 100% of the bag.
It really depends. I don't really act. I respect what you're saying, but don't. I don't. I like simple. I like simple. When a thing hits a new all-time high, and then you go into the retracement bear market, the very simplistic argument is that these things in the past have gone down 85% from the all-time high into the bear market and then recorrected. So I understand what you're saying, but it's a little convoluted.
I guess I'm trying to understand, because it's like it's 6x down. I think it's like the X's. I'm trying to understand.
Yeah, you have to look at it like this. Like, it's not 85% down from the previous all-time high. It's 85% down from the new all-time high, right? So every time you hit a new all-time high, it's 85% down from that all-time high, right? So the argument isn't. It's you see what I'm saying? So that's where you're like that 50% comes in.
Well, I guess I'm not. I guess at 85% of what? So I guess in my head, I need to be looking at the 80%, 5% of the overall log
No, man,
versus like.
just go to a chart, pull from the top of the chart down to where it
Right.
is. It's going to tell you 85%. It's going to tell you Cardano right now is down 85% from its latest all-time high. It's going to tell you Solana is down 85% from its all-time high, right? It's just a simple drawdown.
Cool. Yeah, I actually suck at math, so no, I get it. I get it.
My point is that I like the fact that we starting to have some people that are calling out these sons of bitches that talk so much shit about other things other than their prized Bitcoin, and are talking crap about Hex or other things, like, but specifically Hex, saying, oh, look at the chart, it's down 85% from the all-time high, it's a scam, and it's like, bro, yeah, Bitcoin and Ethereum blazed that trail for every other crypto, like, over the last 13 years. They did the same exact thing. Why are you using that illustration to call something else a scam when Bitcoin and Ethereum did the exact same thing after every cycle? it's just it's just a total hypocritical thing to say, to try to besmirch another crypto.
I just lose a little bit of the scope, where like even today we were up 30%. So that was a 30% move from 6 cents to 8 cents, right? So,
Yeah, that's a 24-hour move from where it was when the day closed to where it is currently.
but even if we went from, let's just use round numbers, from 10 cents to 3 cents, like that's a 70% move.
Yeah, but you're not talking about a move from the all-time high. You'd be talking about a move from 10 cents, which is not the all-time high, down to 3 cents.
So I think that's where I'm trying to figure out. So that so it's from the all-time high. So you're really looking at the whole scale from bottom to top, top to bottom. It's down.
Like, for example, just go to TradingView or DEX tools, pull up Hex, go to the the daily.
I know how to do that.
Top down.
No, I know how to do that, right? I do. But still, I mean, like there's still 30%, 50% in these like moves here where it's like I think sometimes it gets lost in context. 85% down from the top, cool. I mean, we just watched it drop 85%, from 13 cents to 3 cents. So
yeah, I don't care about that. I mean, nobody. I mean, the only reason why somebody would care about that is if they entered at 10 cents and they want to know how far down it dropped from their entry point, right? But not sure why you're looking at it like that. But hey, to each his own.
Well, because we're all like, oh, this is down 85%. Well, it's like, yeah, it's down 85% off the top, but it moves up 100% or down 85% in between these different prices. So, okay. What I'm trying to like understand, wrap my mind around too, is that those things just compound, right? Like when you look at X's and percentages, they're compounding. So even if we're 85% off the top, had you bought at 60 cents and we're down at 6 cents, you're not down 86%. You're down like 860%.
If you bought it what?
If you bought at 60 cents and you're at 6 cents, are you 90% down or are you 900% down?
Can't go more than 100% down. If you do, you're at zero.
Yeah, 60 cents down to 6 cents is a 90% retracement. I'm just saying, like when Ian McCormick and these other guys, they we've seen a lot of them over the past couple of weeks. Oh, Hex is like a Luna. Look, it's down 85%. From its all-time high. Yeah, so what? So are all the other cryptos. Like literally right now. So are all the other cryptos. Like, what's your point? As far as I'm concerned, you're just making the point that Hex is one of the best cryptos in the world because it's in there with the top 30. They're all doing the same damn thing, except for Hex is giving you bigger gains and is paying out way more yield in the bear market. People are just
that made complete sense to me. That made complete sense to me with my stakes for sure.
How much do you give Peter McCormick's community credit for being able to say that, yeah, he's just drawing attention, and they don't really believe that stuff, but he's just drawing attention to himself? Or do you think
he's drawing attention to Hex?
actually believe.
Any press is good press.
No, because when you call something a scam, when you literally you're calling something a scam, and investors hold a thing, right? If you're a professional in your space, you either have an agenda, but generally an individual would want to be looked at as somebody who is balanced and level-headed in their field and understands the nature of the things that they're in. But these people talk in absolute hypocritical manner about the things that they don't like because it's taking away liquidity from the thing that they're in, and using arguments against the things that they don't like that directly applies to the very thing that they're in. You can't take somebody like that seriously. So, I mean, to me, it just makes the guy look like an idiot, and you wouldn't want to follow him.
Think about their followership and like what percentage of their followership like actually able to have the ability to think for themselves. So let's just say 70-30, 70% have a mind of their own, can have some what's it called? It's called like proportionate ability to weigh both sides, right? Like, so even if 25%, 30% of his followership are just fully maxis, only listen to whatever he says, or like, yeah, this guy's the man. There's got to be a full percentage of his viewership that are willing to at least click through and be like, well, what is HEX? Let me go look and see how much of a scam this is, right? And okay, of that, let's just say it's 50-50. Of that 50% that go and click, maybe only another 25% actually understand what's there on the page, and of that, maybe only 5% actually click a button and maybe buy some. I mean, that's still 10% that's sliding over. And if then those people eat back into his viewership and followership, you can maybe start to flip some of that community if there's a huge community surrounding it, and it's not just one dude at the top that's directing it all.
Yeah, I know for a fact that's happened. I mean, I've heard tons of testimonies in here where people have listened to these idiots and then went and looked because they're inquisitive. They're like, what is this? Why is this HEX getting all this like notoriety? Why is he talking about HEX so much? And he says he hates it, but he won't ever stop talking about it, right? And then they go and look at it, and then they get the real information, and they're like, shit, I'm in. That guy's an idiot.
Yeah, it's working for us.
And this just goes to show, right, guys? These are great points, but this just goes to show that these guys are not even in RH's level, because RH taught us a long time ago, don't even mention the scam. Don't even mention the name. Don't give it credits. Don't mention it. Just ghost it. All these fools on Twitter, just ghost them, right? Don't even give them time, because that's what they're looking for. And if you do give them time, unfortunately, some of Richard's followers are going to fall into the trap and go and look at the scam, or go and listen to this, or go and do that. So he doesn't even mention it. So he taught us that a long time ago. And for the fact that they don't even know that any attention is good attention right now to HEX, and the fact that, some of your followers eventually they become Hexicans because you keep mentioning this HEX, and you're trying to call it a scam so much that, any clear-minded person can just take a step back and see, man, this guy's talking too much about this coin. Why is he hating on this coin so much? Like, I'm going to have to delve into this coin myself and see what's going on, And like you said, a majority of those people are going to do it. And like Mandalorian said, countless of people have said that, they come in here. The fools have been dogging X out since the beginning, dogging Richard out since the beginning. And they finally, decided to look into that shit for themselves and saw through the bullshit. So again, Richard is always playing chess while these so-called fools are playing checkers.
There's the analogy, brother. I was waiting for you to say it. I was just about to say Richard is the king of hearts, and he's playing chess with the rest of these motherfuckers play checkers, and he's just drawing them in. It's like pick your predatory animal that just kind of plays and lurks before he pounces. Like this guy is pulling them in and is really playing some psychological games. I think too inside of the influencer crypto YouTube sort of realms, right? Like I think that we'll see that checkmate coming pretty soon at launch.
Yeah, man, I agree with you. I love it. I see a sea change coming. The tides are going to turn because bottom line is the truth is on Richard's side. You might not like pee-pee talk, or how he likes to show off certain watch collections and things like this, but when it comes to crypto, there's nothing that he says that's untrue. You're not going to be able to gatekeep the truth. It's not even about Richard. It's about just truth. And that's why BitBoy's like, look, man, I'm freaking sick of it myself at this point. Like all these guys who are just Bitcoin people and just hating on Hex, hating on other things, they're not applying the truth to their own arguments, and it's starting to come out that these people are just frauds, frankly. I'm loving it.
Man. They can't build their own products, right? Like, we see these cycles too. You saw, and again, I'm referring back to that podcast with Kobe and the guy from ARC, where they talk about these cycles, right? And I've been doing a lot of research and trying to find these individuals, almost like an archaeologist who's been through these cycles and has been through these moments. And this market and these players, there's not a lot of them. The fact that I can even interact with the majority of them on Twitter and get some responses is crazy to me. And so for someone like Richard, who's been here from the very beginning, who has seen all of these cycles, has seen the Bitcoin cycle, has seen Vitalik, fork and create Ethereum, right? And then next cycle comes around, and now we have all these new ERC20s, or we have all of these other L1s that are trying to come out, right? And they're faltering, or they're not able to do it, and they get sucked back in from the tide, right? And now we're figuring out how we come back out of the next cycle. I think Richard's very calculated with his products. He's built, multi-million-dollar companies before in products with teams of 150 plus. So I think he's well aware and probably saw this coming 2 cycles ago. And was like, okay, if this happens, I'm going to build a product and I'm going to do it this time, and it's going to be like this, and I'm going to have it prepared for the next market. And like, look at the position we are in. Look how ready we are on a launch pad. And when the momentum comes, and not even that, we have the backing of like the real financial industry. Like they're on the sidelines saying they want in, right? And where are they going to go put their money into? Really, you're going to put it into the Bitcoin and the Ethereums? Okay, cool. But like, what happens when you actually want to scale? What do you do then? And that's where Richard is. Zigzan, you're in your car and you hit the video button, brother. Hello. Hey. I'm preaching the choir here. It's a sunny day in New York. I'm gonna go for a walk, but touch some grass. But appreciate you guys, Mando, everybody, Soldier.
You too, man. Hey, if you don't mind, dude, I don't know if you have the link, but to that video you said you wanted me to take a look at, can you send me a DM with that? Because I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I tweeted it yesterday, but I'll find the podcast and put it in main chat. What's the rule about putting links in main chat?
That's why I just said if you want to just send me a DM, that'd be great. Just at your convenience. Thanks, man.
For anyone that's interested, it's unchainedpodcast.com. And it's with Kobe and it's Kobe and Chris Berninski on how to navigate a crypto bear market. It's pretty great. Amanda, I'll send that over.
Say that again, Captain. Captain, say that again.
It's unchained, CHAINED podcast.com. She always has some great podcasts. Like she's very non-biased and hosts some cool people. But yeah, her name's Laura Shin, and the podcast was from the 24th, about a week, 4 days ago, and it's with Kobe and Chris Berninski of ARC and Placeholder Ventures. But really smart guys, really great 2 hours, and they give a lot of interesting perspective of the bear market and kind of where we're going. And to listen to Chris talk about what he's talking about, it's all ones.
Yeah, and she was in Cryptopia, right? She was in Cryptopia. Just watched it a couple of days ago.
What's Cryptopia? Is that a doc?
It's on Amazon. It's about how cryptocurrency started and how it's evolving, and what their prediction is, where we will evolve. And she was there. I just recommend the place.
She's an analyst, reporter, journalist, and she stays very much in the middle. Pretty good.
Yeah, Cryptopia is cool stuff. It's really interesting. Yeah, it's really interesting. It's on Amazon anyway. If someone want to watch about Cryptopia, it's about the whole cryptocurrency world, how it started. Yeah, it's good. Oh, hey, Meyer. Hey there, man. Did you watch Cryptopia?
Hello. Yes, I watched, but I kind of almost fell asleep because I was very tired.
I've watched that for like, it took me 3 days to watch, man. Because I always started when I go to bed and shit. Yeah. It's good, man. It's alright.
Yeah, it's interesting for new people that are not aware of what crypto actually is.
Watch to the end.
I think I only missed the last 5 minutes or 10 minutes.
Alright. Okay. So you still think, as for new people, the end is really interesting. Like last 20 minutes or last 30 minutes. Where is that heading?
Okay, give me a second. Maybe I fell asleep a little bit earlier. I'm also taking some antihistamines for allergies, and when it kicks in, I get very sleepy.
You know, we've mentioned this thing over and over again over the years about Richard, and I believe that his number one flaw, if any, is that he speaks the truth, um, often to a detriment, right? Like he does not care if it hurts you. He's gonna pull the band-aid very quickly, and he's gonna let you know whether it's garbage or it's or it's thought provoking. And the irony is that all these years they've been calling Richard the scammer. Um, and the irony is that now, like Mando mentioned, is that he's everybody's finding out that like him or not, he's telling you the fucking truth, and people are realizing that these furus are not, and then like this YouTuber is finally BitBoy's finally realizing it, and he even came out and said it, like these guys are all full of what. And the irony is that the guy that's been saying it all along was the one that was being called a scammer, and in the end is going to turn around, bro. He's going to be the king of crypto. He's going to be the face of crypto. And that's what we should push out there. Like him or not, he tells you the effing truth. And he's been telling the crypto world the truth for many years now. And it's about damn time that people just start shut up and listen. Like him or not, just listen and learn. Because he's speaking the truth. Bottom line.
Someone is in chat is asking for a BitBoy rant. Is that what you mean by is saying something about Richard?
No, he came out and did a video with a large YouTuber with like 350,000 subscribers or whatever, or and basically just called out all these people that's saying, they're, oh, look at Hex, it's a scam, down 85%. And he called them all out and said, look, because the other day he took the chart of Bitcoin and then scratched out Bitcoin and put Hex there so you couldn't tell. So people thought it was the Hex chart and it was the Bitcoin chart. And he's telling people, you guys that are Bitcoin maxis and ETH maxis and all these people that keep saying Hex is a scam and all these other things are a scam, your own coins led the way on the 95, 85% retracements. And now you're calling other things a scam when your fucking coins, when your coins were the ones that have been doing it every cycle. You know, you're not applying your own argument to your own coins, and then you're calling other people's a scam because they did the same thing that yours is doing. So BitBoy's actually seems to me like he's sick and tired of the BS in the industry. And I'm liking the stuff he's saying. He's willing to call him out. A lot of people aren't going to like it, but it is what it is.
The truth is the
agree.
truth.
The truth is the truth. That's exactly correct. You just cannot argue with the truth. It's going to come out one way or another.
Mando, can you post a link to that? People asking in the chat, and I will be happy to watch that as well.
I'll see if I can post the video directly into the chat.
Thanks, man.
It is loading now. And it is there. There you go.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, it seems like that. I watched the clip on Twitter, and yeah, BitBoy's speaking truth to power.
Well, he's one of the few that actually did some interviews with Richard, and from the ones I saw, I think it was they were interesting.
I'm gonna tweet that.
Yeah, and some of these YouTube influencers who promoted Luna, for them to come out and call Hex a scam is just ridiculous.
Yeah, the irony there is like, how can they even say those things with a straight face? It's like,
Oh, it's just, and then the fact that there's a Luna 2.0, it's just mind blowing. It's like,
well, and after the 2.0, there will be a 3.0, and then a 4.0, because someone will put some money there. That's a problem.
yeah, it's like.
What I want to say is, look, guys, how strong the community is.
What? Sorry.
How strong the community is. They managed to put this together, and the people are still going to invest into this. Jesus.
Yeah, and in that interview with Richard Hart and Eric Wall, there's one thing he did say that was kind of that I took away from that is, you can't bet against stupid, right? And that's the whole thing with this 2.0 that they're trying to do, and the people who are going to put their money in the project regardless.
Yep.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I heard Bankman-Fried say, the projects and the coins that you want to look to invest in are the ones with the strong communities, and in my opinion, by far, Hex and Pulsechain have the best and the largest one. And there's so much knowledge here, a lot of smart individuals that come and go in the chat. Like, you'll learn a lot here. Like, I learned so much about security, a lot more about these, furus that exist in the space who are always lying to you, just wanting to sell you on some coin they've bought into before you, and then dump it on your head, and those things usually go to zero. But yeah, Bankman-Fried, is one of the big names in the space. He's managed to make a lot of money in a short amount of time. And he says to bet on the communities, strong communities. Hex is by far way up there.
Yeah, for instance, at like the 2017, 2018, when the YouTubers and influencers started to spread in the crypto industry, I used to watch a few, but after you see 2, 3, 4 videos, you just start understanding that it's always the same. Like, there's no real information there. It's just cycling the same ideas, the same names, same memes, with no actual technical or any detail whatsoever. It's like shilling the next coin or the next big thing or their own projects or selling you TA charts and things like that. Unfortunately, people buy into that. So
yeah, seems more like they try and sell you all the things to get you wrecked.
Hey, here's another one. This K Con crypto guy was talking so much shit about Hex the other day, and
who? Sorry,
K-Con, this K Con crypto, this Twitter guy, and he was talking all this crap about Hex, that it was a scam because it was down 85%. And here's his token, the Shumo token. He was promoting that shit rugged so hard. These people, there's not even like a dime of liquidity left in the fucking pot, man. And this is what I mean. Like, why aren't you talking about your wrecked coin? Right? Like, you just got all your followers into a coin that just rugged.
it's easier to deflect to other things. But for instance, I used to watch Data Dash, the YouTuber. I just went to check out of curiosity, and he has like 500,000 subscribers. But when you actually looked at these videos, like they have 50K views, 40K views. One has 68K views. And then you look at Richard's videos, and all of them have multiple X's in terms of views compared to him, and it only has 137,000 subscribers. Like the video from the last interview with what's her name? The streamer, where he did it work. Well, that video
Wendy?
alone has Wendy, exactly. That video alone has almost the same number of views as Richard has of subscribers. So even though if you looked at the subscriber numbers, one has a lot more than the other, the actual views and interaction of the community with the video is a lot higher. And I guess that's because people get to a point and they just start seeing it's always the same thing, always the same. Oh, BTC is about to surprise people. BTC is about to go this, and and see the next new coin is doing this and that and etc. Without no actual information, or talk about security, talk about uh, immutability, talk about liquidity pools, any of that. Like, just people speaking to a camera, saying a bunch of nonsense and doing some TA and that's it.
This tweet from Hex Machine. It pains them so much to even mention Hex. They hate it. The crypto media cabal is so scared of Richard Hart win. 27 million raised by the community. Nothing. 1.5 billion for Pulse and PulseX. Nothing. Doko Zip. Best price chart in history. Nothing. Price down from 11 cents to 5 cents. Print, print, print. It's freaking awesome, dude.
Yeah. No one no one likes it, but apparently everyone is seeing it when it goes down. It's like amazing.
So Eleanor, when we reverse on this next go around, when we reverse and Hex starts going back up to a new all-time high, I think that this time it's, I mean, what are they going to say? What are they going to say after they've all called it a scam, and and then it goes to new all-time highs again? It's just gonna.
They will say exactly the same thing. It was the same after the big payday. Oh, finally going down. Scam, scam, scam. It's like the Peter McCormick indicator, And starting when he starts to tweet about it, it's the best time to buy it.
I think that there's going to be a new flood of investors. I think that there's going to be a new flood of investors on this next round. Once it goes back up again to a new all-time high, they're going to realize it's not what they said it was, and it's gonna represent probably one of the best opportunities that there is between Hex and Pulse and PulseX.
I agree, but there will always be those that will still call it a scam nonetheless, and will keep.
They're not really taking. That's like Peter Schiff still calling Bitcoin a scam, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody really gives a shit what he says.
Yeah. I really like the posts where Richard mentioned when Peter McCormick was calling the X bottom and that after the big payday, and then just shows the rest of the chart 1 year afterwards, and then it goes down again, and next Peter McCormick tweets again at 1,000 times higher. Oh, now finally the scam is over, etc. And now we'll have the third round. Well, nice to see him post the third time after the next big dip. Would like to see the number we are at then.
Exactly.
I absolutely love this community because I've been here since sub-cent levels, and I've seen the same shit over and over happening. post big payday stuff was just amazing. People were ending stakes left and right, not knowing what they're doing. And the price dipped so bad, and everybody thought like, oh. At the time, I wasn't staked. I was just keeping everything liquid. And thanks to this community, when I joined the chat of Hex at that time, it was just a Hex chat. Everybody was just like, "Wow, buy the dip, buy the dip," and people were posting funny memes. Those memes, man, it's just like unbelievably turned everything upside down for me. I was like, what is going on? There was supposed to be like, hell on earth, but everybody's celebrating low prices. Same thing here. Everybody's, keep talking about it. Hex is a scam. It's all over, blah, blah, blah. Of course, it comes from a lot of people who bought at like high levels, like 50, 45 cents, and etc. I understand their pain, and they try to express it on Twitter and everything and everywhere. But it doesn't make any difference because, like right now, my staking ladder is up to 15 years. I am confident as fuck, and I love this community. And thank you guys, all of you. If it wasn't for this community, I would have been like, I don't know, man. I would have sold the bottom. But now I'm staked for 15 years.
And thank you for being here. And I think we all, or most of us, see the same here, and that's why we are here, either helping or just participating. And again, I believe actually this dip that's happening, it's actually quite good because it allows people that had money on the outside and were waiting to get in, but didn't want to do it at the levels they were before. They actually got a chance to come in to get those T-shares and to actually start their journey, right? It allowed for a broader adoption for those that were maybe on the outside still wavering and thinking about, oh, a T-share is so expensive and I need to have at least one to be worth my time, and etc. And it helps in that sense.
It'll be amazing when they're saying that about B shares.
Yeah.
But what amazes me that Bitcoin price and Ethereum price haven't dipped that much. So I think we have one more time. We have to go down one more time, in my opinion, because the whole thing is going to drag down the prices. And if I don't feel like this is the bottom for Bitcoin or Ethereum. Basically, Ethereum just drags us down a little bit because we depend on Ethereum too, because pools are like 15%. They consist of Ethereum, so that will drag our shit down again. I wonder what is the bottom.
So that's a great point, and there's a lot of assumptions there, right? So let's start assuming on the plus side for a little bit. Let's just assume that what Richard said was true for all along, and he was right all along, and Bitcoin bottom is 10, 11, 12K. Let's just assume that happens. Let's assume that Pulsechain launches when the bear market ends. Let's just assume that. Let's assume that that Hex. I don't know if you guys remember the video when he was talking to the director, right? And the director told them about there was a gentleman there, I guess, that bought at the top, and he's like, they interviewed him, and he said, the director said, well, we're gonna still interview that guy at the end to see if he's up or not. And Richard wasn't even phased. He was like, yeah, Yeah, you still, yeah, that's part of the deal, that the guy's going to get interviewed to see how's his investment doing and so forth. And right now the investment wasn't doing so good, right? And Richard didn't even blink. So fast forward to that. Let's just say that all that Richard was saying was true, and then all of a sudden this Hex documentary comes out. I mean, what happens then, bro? Like, does Richard still is Richard still under the radar? Does the crypto world still deny Richard after he has called the bottom twice on in a row? Can they really do that? You know what I mean? Does he blow up into superstardom where now the financial, the fiat world starts noticing him? And I mean, can that happen? Can he become the king of crypto, like he's fighting for? Because that's what he keeps saying. They keep asking him, what do you want? I want to run it. I want it all. I want it all. And he wants it all because he's a competitive freak, and because people have called him a bullshitter for so long. So what happens if all of that, and again, remember, he's been playing chess for so long. What about if all along he knows all this shit is happening, and oh man, what if, guys? What if? Can somebody answer that? What happens then? Are we still under the radar?
Well, in my mind, if Pulsechain launches and it's successful, like no critical bugs are there, I think we get noticed. Yeah, because a lot of YouTubers and influencers, they invested heavily in Pulse and PulseX, so they're gonna cover it, and Hex is around the corner there. Yeah, I guess people will notice that too, because they will see all the on-chain activity and they'll see Hex. But all things you said are understandable, but what's quite um, confusing to me is Richard's behavior. I know that at the time when he had like the maximum crypto community views, he decided to expand his YouTube channel and Twitter basically by promoting stuff like watches, right? Like unboxing some shit that we don't care about in crypto, basically. So he attracted more and more people in that are not like, if you could say that, crypto guys or girls. And what turns off people a lot from Richard, it's not his promotions, it's not his, like, it's just basically his language. And he said it himself that, yeah, I have to use more, like, more civilized way of saying things, because when I curse, my shit cannot be watched by others. Because let's say there's a young man there, he's like 17 years old, he's invested in Hex, he wants to show videos to his parents, but all the live streams that Richard had, but he can't because there's a lot of cursing and swearing going on there, and that kind of um, keeps followers, uh, keeps the amount of followers not,
I don't think so.
how to say it. Well, for us, we know Richard more than anybody else, because we see him a lot. He streams a lot, and people just see him. And for the first time, if I was the guy who, for the first time, sees Richard, I would say he's fucking arrogant, cocky. He's like this and that, but we all know that that's the part of the deal. That's the part of his promotion. That's how he promotes things. Um, yeah, but I think the thing.
Those Jeff Bezos, right? So Zuckerberg. So's all these people at the top.
Yes, but we also talk about crypto, right? Because a lot of people don't know what crypto is and what is a wallet. Like, they can't even install a wallet safely. And how do we attract those people? Well, we have to either educate them or be very nice and be very nice, because crypto, in the main media, crypto is treated like shit, like it's dirty money all over the place. And in order to change this narrative, We have to behave a certain way, unfortunately. So all I'm just saying is,
or
yeah,
you have
sorry.
to have a product, or you have to have a product that works, and they'll come when the money starts flowing and they see the product, and they'll come, they'll flock, and they'll forget about whoever Richard is and if he's good or bad, and they won't give a shit if they're getting that 38% APY.
Yeah, but all I'm saying is we would have had a lot more followers, a lot more people in Hex, in PulseX, if we would have behaved in a certain way.
Well,
I don't agree with that.
I don't agree with you at all.
So
And I'm
I think
I'm a very conservative human being. I was raised by very conservative Christian parents, very conservative, and I don't agree with you at all. I would be one of those people you would consider that would be put off by those things. Why am I not?
so. I think people tend to see Richard as the ex-father and the man behind the scenes and the evangelist, I guess. But what really matters at the end of the day was that he launched a product. The product is done and finished. It works either with or without him, and that's what people are buying. They're not buying Richard. They're buying the asset he created, which is not like everything else, which is promises by founders, is a finished, complete project. And that's where people need to focus, not about the creator or the language he uses or the PP talk or whatever. They need to focus on the product, what it is, how it works. Send people to the audits it had. Send them people to the layman's guide. Send people the information that's actually useful for the product they're buying. When you buy S&P 500 company, what matters is, or what should matter is what the underlying company is and the revenue they're making, the growth potential, and etc. I don't care who's the face of the company. I care if the company is providing revenue and is healthy, right? That's what should matter, the product. Especially when you have a product that is finished and not a promise coin like 99% of all the others you see in the space.
I totally agree with you. And people who have critical thinking, they know what's up. You know, they don't have to watch someone else's face to make a decision on whether you want to invest into something or not. You just take the product, take its features, you look at, into the stuff, and you decide. For example, I've never treated Richard as an arrogant or egoistical person. I was just like, wow, this guy knows how to make a show. It's so entertaining to watch and listen to him, because you basically get free education on stuff that you've never thought about before. And he gives a lot of insights, and not only in crypto but in life. If you watched his like earlier streams, 2017, 18, he talks about
Even
stuff.
the last stream with the Playboy girl, even there is speaks about day-to-day things that people should actually pay attention to. Sorry to cut you off. Was just to give a recent example of that.
Yeah, that's correct. That's why I never treated him as a cocky guy. It was always entertaining to watch how he talks to the audience and how he destroys haters. It's so funny. But a lot of people don't have critical thinking like that, or they're not interested in watching Richard because of just the way he talks to people. He used to talk to people. Now he's good. Now he picks words and he knows what to say.
Green Candle. So like when I onboard people that are new and that are like no coiners, just new people, I don't even need to talk about Richard Hart. I don't need to say a word. I don't need to talk about it's amazing. I hear a lot of people, they'll go into, they'll talk about Hex. One of the first things they want to talk about is the OA, right? Why are you talking about shit that no one cares about and no one needs to know? Like the only thing that they need to know is this is one of the best performing digital assets over the last 3 years. This is how the smart contract works. It's immutable. There's no admin keys. It's been outperforming the rest of the market. It's a brand new take on Bitcoin with a proof of work change. And if you take a look at the chart, right now might be, if you're interested, a good time to take a position in it. That's it. If they start asking a little bit of technical questions, sure, answer the question. You don't even have to talk about Richard Hart. I mean, when I talk to somebody about Bitcoin, I don't have to talk about Nakamoto.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, I agree with you. I agree with you. That's how exactly I promote Hex, and I've onboarded 14 people. It's not a lot, but I mean they're all my close friends and relatives. Yeah, I don't talk about Richard at all.
Do you remember, Ben? Do you remember when McCormick got on that interview with Richard? And
the first one?
How disgusting his language was. How horrible of a human being he was. He was calling him a cunt. He was calling him every name in the book. He called him a scammer. He said, I hope you go to prison. I mean, these guys make Richard Hart look like an angel, bro.
Yeah, I remember that horrible interview. And actually, Richard finished it by, Peter McCormick went offline with his, words or whatever, and he continued the interview for him. He was doing him a favor. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, he was actually debating the bad sides that people were talking about and explaining why it wasn't a problem. And I especially liked it when Richard had another interview with another guy, I don't remember the name, and then Peter just jumped in and he just said enough and bashed them all the way. That felt really great.
Well, see, my thought on this is this. An individual should not have to be somebody that they're not to build something great, right? If an individual is not a conservative, Bible believing Bible person, or not even that, they're just not conservative. They're just the exact opposite of that. That doesn't make them a bad person. It just makes them not conservative. Their ethic is not the same as your ethic, right? We do live in a world where people can be free to be who they want to be. As long as they're not hurting somebody else, they're free to talk how they want. They're free to say what they want. That's what people all around the world died for, these freedoms that we have, to be free, to be who they want to be, to say what the hell they want to say, any way they want to say it. So I think it's astronomically disingenuous to say that a person, for example, Richard, can't build an amazing cryptocurrency ecosystem without people saying, you have to change who you are, Richard, as a human being, in order for me to buy your amazing products that you built. That makes absolutely zero sense. As long as the individual builds a thing that's phenomenal, that is better than everything else, with integrity, teaches the truth, prevents people from getting harmed, doesn't care that he does it at his own expense. Why do we demand some ethic that he doesn't hold to? It doesn't make any sense. And then we look at all these hypocritical, horrible people that run all these big Fortune 500 companies, these elitists that essentially, like a Bill Gates, for example. Do people still buy Microsoft? Do people still invest in Microsoft? I think the guy's a damn devil, but still buy his products. Don't like the guy at all. I don't really care for Zuckerberg. I still use Facebook. I don't really care for Bezos. I still buy from Amazon.
Exactly. It's like saying, okay, if a guy comes up with the cure for cancer, but it happens to be any other religion other than yours, and so, oh no, I'm not going to use a cure. I prefer to die. Right? It's an exaggeration, but it's the same idea, right?
Yeah, that's correct, guys. I agree with all you said above, and I just wish a lot of people would have a lot of critical thinking before they make their decision. That's it.
You're speaking of all the people that have not joined because of maybe some of his antics, but I think with time, those people will come on board when they see the results and they see the charts and who's telling the truth and who's not. Even though all these people, we're talking about Richard and these Zuckerberg and all them. Richard is a much better human being than all these other guys combined. When you put them side by side. So
Yeah, I agree. Time is the greatest thing because
Here's the funny thing, Green.
so,
We hold people. We want to hold people to these ethics, right? And we're complete hypocrites ourselves, man. And that is just the truth. What we do behind closed doors, what we do when nobody's looking, there are people that are just themselves and they say, I'm going to be myself. I don't have to hide who I am. So in reality, who is actually the worst person? The people who are pretending like they're good? I don't think so.
You're a dirty animal. What are you doing behind the closed doors? but I get it. Of course, I agree with you. I agree.
Just saying, man, whatever's your proclivity. Whatever floats your freaking boat, as long as it's not hurting anybody else.
Nah, and what you guys said makes so much sense. When you buy Amazon stock, nobody's talking about Bezos. When you're buying Tesla, nobody's talking about what he's doing, yes or no. Even when you're buying crypto, when you're buying Ethereum, nobody's talking about Vitalik and what he's doing with Ethereum. No, he created it, but we know that Ethereum works and it's the second best crypto, right? Right now, maybe even the best crypto, right? Behind Hex. So yeah, we don't care about these people. Does the product work? Yes or no? And is it making people money? Yes or no? Yeah, like you guys said, you don't even have to mention Richard. If you want to onboard people, there's plenty of YouTubers that we have out there. Crypto Coffee, a hexologist. There's a plethora of YouTubers that you can send them to that are vanilla and just give you what Hex is, and don't even have to mention Richard in a sentence. Hex, yield, and what T-shares are. That's it.
And here's the other thing too. Richard is phenomenally able to tailor make his posture based on the venue. So if he gets invited to speak on Kitco live, you can see he completely can change to be that more you know, streamlined individual with his speech, right? Because a good person that is trying to make things work knows the venue he's in, right? But if he's just doing, you know, going about his own business, if he's on his own live stream, he should just be able to be who he is. Like, you know, and what I mean by, like, for example, the Kitco interview that he did, part 1 and part 2, and a lot of other ones as well, like, you know, you out of respect for the prestige of that venue, you know, you're not going to go on there, you know, maybe saying some things or doing some things that you would on your own personal space. And he's very good at doing that, you know. But when it comes to trying to change the man or tell him what he's going to do, that's just not going to happen. People just need to realize it. It's just not going to happen. And that realization hit me when he, on that live stream the other day, basically told Rackham, when Rackham was trying to tell him, hey, you need to do this and you need to do that, and, you know, blah blah blah. And he's like, hey man, I like you. I'm glad you're in the documentary. Hexagon, stop messing around with the guy, but you're not going to tell me what to do, and you're not going to tell me who to be. And if that's what you think you need to do to make yourself feel good, then maybe you should just leave. And when you can tell the biggest sacrificer in the ecosystem, if you don't like who I am, you can leave. It doesn't get any more blunt than that. Richard's not going to be anyone other than who Richard is.
Yep.
I like that. He just slam dunked that guy, and I haven't heard a response since then. I don't know if anybody else has, but I haven't.
Slam dunk him. He just respectfully said, "Look, I like the guy. He's in the documentary. You know, stop screwing around with him." But then looked straight in the camera and said, "But if you don't like me, you know, if you don't like me because of who I am, maybe this isn't for you."
Yeah. And if it was probably anyone else, and if really wanted to lick the shoes of others, probably most of us wouldn't be here, right? We are here because we understand the product, we understand the man, and we like what we see, right? I rather have someone that says PP on a live stream than someone would just does a completely 180 on his personality at the beck and call of someone else.
I agree, guys. I think Kitco interview was one of the most exciting interviews I've ever seen Richard participated in. I would say, I mean, crypto related. I would guess that's my personal top 3 best interviews ever. He was so like gathered. He was so cool, collected. He answered questions very good, and the interviewer was not a dumbass. He was really into, you know, he was asking good questions. Yeah, it was a great interview. Thanks for the chit chat, guys. I have to go to sleep. You have a good day.
I see a perfect storm lining up for Pulsechain, guys. I really, really see a perfect storm lining up. It's pretty surreal, frankly.
What's your timeline on what you're looking at, Mando?
A timeline. All that's out the window right now, man. No more timelines for me. He's going to
You
launch
just
it when
speak,
it's ready.
yeah. You're just speaking overall. You just see good things happening, everything coming together.
I'm already seeing them come together, in my personal opinion. I think that this scam narrative is being attacked even by larger influencers now. Hex is proven itself that it's the exact opposite of a scam. It's performing wonderfully, as good or better, in my opinion, than any other crypto in the top 30. I don't see how you could argue against that. And it's doing it while it's paying out trustless yield. What is this? The 12th cycle that it's done a 60 to 50 to 70, 80% retracement, whatever it is now. But with regards to Pulse is just going to give Hex a even more clout and even more, veneration, if you will. It's just going to speak to the entire ecosystem. It's just going to give the entire community that much more ammunition. And that's why I think that for Richard, it's really important that Pulsechain launches as flawless, right? It's very hard to do things flawless in this industry, but as flawless as they can try to get it done. So that is the delays. I think that the dev team and the lead dev that Richard's working with, they have a lot at stake. They have a big stake in Pulse, which is a great way to incentivize great developers to do great things, right? And I think that the market has come to him perfectly, and I just feel like it could not be going any better. Like if you painted the perfect scenario, how could you paint it any better?
Yeah, if he does all that and it works the way he wants it to work, it's going to give all projects credibility that are included, and it's going to shut a lot of people up about Pulsechain. Many people saying that, oh, he's only doing Pulsechain to add liquidity for Hex because it's a Ponzi and all this stuff, and it's going to shut all those people up. And I will be one of the ones out there reminding them in their lives every time that they were wrong about Richard Hart, that they're wrong about Hex and all his projects.
So on that whole add liquidity thing, right? I'll just liken it to Bitcoin, right? Even if let's just say, for example, if everybody in the system of Hex stole Hex and Hex literally went to zero, the smart contract doesn't die. You can literally have new people come in, buy that up, provide liquidity, and start it all over again. So going back to when Bitcoin started, right? The best time to buy Bitcoin, Richard says it, was when no one knew about it. Everyone thought it was a scam. There was essentially no liquidity. There was no fiat on ramps. Where did the liquidity come from for Bitcoin? I mean, Hex is literally like Bitcoin with a proof of work change that is better designed and is just as secure. How is it not going to explode into the future? Can Bitcoin go to zero?
Yeah, if everybody dumps and nobody buys.
Exactly. So how is it any different from HEX?
Yep. Agreed.
It's a sincere question. How is it any different?
No, it's actually better because we're able to receive yield
And
better than
people,
Bitcoin.
they look at the APY numbers of 38%. Oh, that's got to be a scam. That's got to be a scam, right? I understand that. But you're obviously not understanding why you get that yield. Because you have a genius that created an OA in order for their users to be able to actually get better yield than anything else, trustlessly, while they act as, this benevolent entity. We have the same structure in standard finance. We have the same things going on. There's no difference. So I just ask people, how is this any different than Bitcoin? How is it any different from Ethereum? The thing works. The thing does what it does. It's literally math. How is it any different?
Yeah, I wish I wouldn't have got shaken out of Hex last year, man. Before I knew anything, I dumped some Hex because someone told me something that wasn't true. I didn't do research.
Hey man, you got a great opportunity at these levels, brother, right now.
Oh yeah, I started stacking again last winter. I started buying and I've been buying all the way down. So I'm back to where I was when I dumped, and I have plenty of dry powder. I'm looking for it to go down again, so I'm gonna back up the truck if it gets to 4 again, 3. But I'm looking for another dip or two before it makes its run.
Problem with that range for me, with anything like 4s on down, is our community is just so strong, man. I just don't think they're going to let it sit in those ranges for. I honestly think that those ranges are just gone. I just don't think the community will not buy it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna have limit orders set because if it wicks down, it's not gonna stay down there for long. So I'll have limit orders set, but I mean I'll buy again at 5, 6, and 7 too. I just bought yesterday, so I'm just DCing, every couple of days to see wait. I'm not trying to be impatient. I'm not gonna blow my whole load in one shot. I'm just saying dollar cost average the way I learned how to do it.
When people talk about limit orders, how do you do that, and where do you do that?
Matcha.xyz, matcha.xyz. Click on limit, and there's plenty of real short tutorials on how to do it.
Okay, thanks.
No problem. Does How to Pulse have a tutorial video on matcha limit orders? Let me go check.
Hey, what's going on in here? Why is everyone so quiet?
I don't know. People were talking a little bit ago. I just got unmuted. No one's going to say anything.
Yeah, I guess maybe the holiday weekend, a lot of people decide to go drinking tonight.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's a Saturday. I'm just grilling with the family, actually.
Yeah, I guess so. You know, but usually I like to listen. I don't really talk. You know, usually the topics that are covered in this group is pretty good, so I don't need to talk. I just listen and learn some new stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking about some stuff. I kind of covered it yesterday. Looking at classifications of assets within the ecosystem and how do you develop a framework that encompasses like new projects all the way to like say the very, 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 very established ones. And then what are the sub criteria to determine whether or not a project is actually successful. And that made me like I started going down that road because everyone talks about market cap and it's useless, completely useless metric. And there's got to be a better way. Well, the better way is you have to get into the weeds, and then like I don't know. I'm just thinking about stuff. I like to think, and sometimes I share what I think with the group.
Yeah, that one was a little bit too technical for me, man. You know, that sounds like a college paper. I mean, I like to learn new stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of a graduate. Yeah, it's kind of a graduate level kind of thing, I would think.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I have an MBA.
Started talking, like,
so
it's gonna take me some time.
Yeah, unfortunately I'll go into the weeds on like the tech, and then I'll go into the weeds on some of this stuff is more like kind of the stuff you think if you were like an analyst at like a VC firm, like that level of like that's where I'm going with it. So you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
do you code?
I mean, I can. I mean, like
Okay.
Python and C barely, C++ barely, like not even enough to really say. Like I can read a little bit and I can write a little bit, but not like a huge amount. And then mostly I did sysadmin, like Linux development. Well, more like running clients on Linux hardware for like 15 years, which is like basically what you do with a full node, like a Bitcoin or a Ethereum full node.
Gotcha.
You somebody gives you the packages, the client, and then you like basically configure the system to like make it run. Like I did that for like a really, really long time. But then I also have a business background.
Okay. That's pretty cool, man. I can't remember the last time I configured like a Unix Linux box. It's been years. When I was much younger, I had the time, you know. But now I don't even think about that stuff anymore.
Well, I only do it when I need to. But I run like 2 full nodes on Pulsechain. So I got into the weeds to do the configuration of the Linux kernel configuration to make it more efficient. Because when you set up a VPS server in like say DigitalOcean data center, what I do, then the defaults are just terrible. You have to go in to right. You have to go in and just like add a bunch of configurations that they set at like the minimum standard possible, and then I just basically maxed everything out I could with descriptors and the main kernel config file. I made a bunch of changes that are helpful and like just basic stuff. Well, basic for Linux admin stuff. mostly right now, what I'm interested in thinking about is how do you gauge a new project in the ability of it to say meet max user base and all these things.
Hi guys, so I would like to put the cat among the pigeons. Today I took receipt of a brand new phone, which I intend to put MetaMask on and put a small percentage of my Pulsechain and PulseX onto it to use for trading, just because it's quick and convenient, and the majority of my holdings will be on a hardware wallet. So that goes against the grain of everything that we're taught in here. So I would like to ask, what are the actual potential dangers of using a phone for crypto, please?
So if you have any type of backups, and most modern phones do, you could get SIM swapped, and if that backup is attached to any way to your SIM card, then they can gain access to the data, which includes the encrypted private key from MetaMask in the cloud. And if they have access to your phone, then they could potentially have access to the password or break the password for that encrypted file and then steal the money that is in that wallet. That's kind of normally how that works. Sometimes people even are like less, say, confident with their security, and they'll actually have like, say, a text file with their private, like their secret seed with their seed words and their password, like saying like a note, like on their phone, which is obviously like, why would you do that? But people do it all the time. So the general rule of thumb is your 12 words should never be anywhere other than they will in a hardware wallet. You have a hardware wallet. It should only ever be like inside of the actual MetaMask app, right? Like you would never actually write them down anywhere and store them digitally anywhere ever. If you're talking about the MetaMask app, then obviously they're inside of the app. That only requires the password to get access to them. So that's a huge issue with storing like really money in a phone app for MetaMask. That's really the main one. Is like basically copy your phone, put the information on it, and potentially hack your private key encrypted file, or if you have stuff in notes like your seed words or your password, then they have access to that and they can steal your money. So
Yeah, no,
Not recommended at
yeah,
all, right?
no,
But you
I,
seem very aware of
I,
that.
yeah, I totally understand. It's, I mean, when I was setting the phone up today, I'm not intending putting a SIM card in it. It literally is going to be used in my home, um, as on my personal on my private Wi-Fi. So I'm trying to be as, and again, I'm only going to put a very small percentage of my bag over just to play away, without having to sort of get the. And I'm not even going to say what my security things are, but it's an epic feat to get my hardware wallet out and get it connected up and log on. So it was just something I could have handy where I could just go to the cupboard and get it out and in my own home and just play away, and feel relatively secure. Thanks.
Sure. I mean, a better option for you perhaps is you have a hardware wallet with most of your security. Call it like the vault. You can call it whatever you want, but it's a hardware wallet that you have, and it's locked away with most of your money. And then you literally could have a second hardware wallet that you have like more easily available that you could use connected to a computer in MetaMask and then do trading that isn't like say so securely locked away. I mean, that would be like a better option for you instead of having it in your phone, even in your house.
Pardon?
Did you understand where did I come through?
Yeah. No, sorry, I didn't catch your question at the end there.
No, I was just saying that you have your very, very hidden vault, like hardware wallet with a majority of your money sitting away where it's hard to get to, even you, which is awesome. More people should do that. And then perhaps another option would have another hardware wallet that's in a more convenient location that you could easily hook up to your computer, do your trading on your actual computer, and let that has like this like low percentage of money, but it's like not as securely tucked away as the other one, right? Where it's like more easily available.
Yeah, that
I mean, that'd be the two wallet situation would probably be better.
To be honest, that's a really good suggestion. I hadn't even thought of it because I've got my setup where I keep my hardware wallets in a secure locked box in a locked area. I hadn't even thought of having a hardware wallet that maybe just kept in my desk, and I could still just use it for my trading. That's a really, really good suggestion. Thank you.
That'd be like 1,000 times better than having it on your phone, and right, it's only a low percentage, and you could literally have it in your desk drawer. You bring it out and hook it up, and it'd be way better than having a phone.
Brilliant, Gamma. Thank you very much.
See, I used to have MetaMask on my phone. I used to have like $100 on it in the off chance that back then, this is like 3 years ago, that I might come across a place where I could actually use crypto to like purchase like coffee or some bullshit, and it like never happened. And so I basically just had this $100 on my phone that could be just stolen like any time, and I was like, oh well, I just won't do that anymore. I deleted it from my phone. Because 3 years ago, I really thought that maybe I could go to a coffee shop and I could use like Ethereum or something else to like buy crypto, and I thought that would be really cool. And then like it never happened. So
I think we'll see quite an adoption over the next well, 5 years. Yeah, no, I think things will start getting like really popular with crypto.
Yeah, the closest I ever got was having the Bitcoin debit card from Coinbase, and then having Bitcoin on Coinbase, and then using my card, and it would debit the Bitcoin out. So it was effectively like exchanging Bitcoin for US dollars, and then the POS was a Visa or whatever, which isn't the same as actually using crypto. It's just a debit card. Like they just did the conversion and apply, and then you were spending your Bitcoin, but you weren't actually using Bitcoin.
I like it when it's quiet because I feel as though it's okay to ask my speculative questions. But I personally think that Richard Hart is waiting for as close to the bottom of the market as he possibly can before launching. I'm absolutely fine with that. But I think that we could be waiting up until July, August, September before we launch. And I'll also throw another cluster bomb in there and say it wouldn't surprise me if he came out and said, me and my devs are so close with the wallet, we're going to have another sacrifice phase in the event of maybe pushing it out a little bit further. What's anyone's thoughts on that one?
Well, don't tell people on Twitter that it's going to take a while for Pulse to launch. It'll go crazy. Is my point. And then I don't know. People have been saying that, and I have no idea if it's true or not.
Again, I mean, I really, really don't mind. If on the one hand, there are bugs that need ironed out, and we, the team are trying to make sure we launch with the most robust system that we could possibly have, then that's absolutely fine. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, well, I will say one thing that thing you said about another sacrifice, like that would like be horrible because we literally just got done with the last two, and that took forever. So I don't believe I think it's impossible to even conceive of an idea of him doing a sacrifice for anything before Pulsechain launches. Even a wallet, if that like was something he was thinking about doing until after Pulsechain is live and everything's good, because it literally like we're 13 days, 14 days in with no updates to the sacrifice balances, which is insane.
Yeah, to be fair, that the wallet sacrifice was me just throwing it right out there. I truly do believe that because of Richard wanting to be able to say in 12 months, 18 months, 2 years time, we've done 10. Well, I don't know if we'll do 10,000 X, but we've done X, thousands of X from launch. I just think that that's so important to him. Why would he launch now if he thinks that the market could drop another 20, 30, 40%?
I don't see that being the case, as he said multiple times himself. he'll launch when it's ready. And we can speculate all we want, and we can say, okay, maybe wait for the wallet, and then we'll wait for the bear market, and then we wait for the bottom of the bear market. But again, what benefits will that bring?
I mean, my
Sorry,
my opinion, and I said it yesterday, was like it's more important that Pulsechain is alive when we hit the bear market and we hit the very bottom of it, and then we come out the other side, than trying to time the bottom. Being live is more important than trying to time the market.
Yeah, I mean, again, I only ask these questions in really quiet times, and it's the early hours of the morning for me here in the UK. It's just, and I only ask these questions. I only throw these questions out there because it's quiet, and it's just to maybe invigorate the chat a little bit and get the conversation going.
No, it's no problem with the conversation. It's fine asking questions. I just think that now we can answer them with our opinion.
And again, I'm totally happy with however this plays out. I just wonder if Richard Hart thinks it's got and okay, then here's another question. What's people's thoughts of the market getting to between $20,000 and $11,000 in the next 6 to 12 months? Bitcoin, obviously.
Could you repeat that?
Yeah, it was just what people's thoughts of whether the market could hit between $20,000 to $11,000 in the next 12 months.
Connor, do you have any question?
No.